To order, stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call. Bonnie.
Here.
Steve.
Here.
Terry.
Here.
Mike.
Here.
Marcus.
Here.
The next item is the consent agenda. All items under this will be enacted by one motion. This includes the agenda, minutes of the February 24, 2026 regular council meeting, claims, and approval of Dollar General Class B liquor license. So Tammy included the claims in your packet.
I just had a question on the Kinderfest bill there. Is that kind of a pass-through, like we pay for it and then they give
Yeah,
it?
they've already. Yeah.
They paid for it, okay.
Okay, so yeah, just a pass
It's
through.
just kind of halfway through, okay. Little buggers aren't cheap, are they?
That's what Lauren had said.
Yeah.
So if
Okay,
somebody would like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda,
I'll make that motion.
Terry,
Second.
Marcus, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next part is the departmental reports. Wade, if you want to come and take a seat and give us your sheriff's report, please.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I guess good evening to everybody.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Sorry I couldn't be here last month, but we had a death in our family, and so we were kind of dealing with that. But anyway, just wanted to stop by tonight, and I guess honestly the biggest thing to update you on or to talk about real quickly would just be, you know, the budget that got approved by the Public Safety Commission for next fiscal year. Obviously it starts July 1st. Total expenditures of $3,073,390. That has $922,688 in city support, so the 5 cities collectively, $2,100,702 in county support, and then $50,000 in support from the schools for the school continuation of the school resource officer program. So each school district pays $25,000 apiece for that position during the course of the school year. For the city of Holstein specifically, the cost for law enforcement, so the budget kind of gets split out in 2 areas, law enforcement and then communications. Total cost for the law enforcement end of it is $244,800. The communication center, $69,400, for a total of $314,200 next fiscal year, which is about $10,000 more next year than what you're paying this fiscal year. So, as far as the collective bargaining, we did that in December. I think we got a pretty good contract overall. I was pleased with a couple things. Number one, it's a 3-year contract as opposed to doing these 1-year contracts. We've been on a cycle of 1-year contracts for the last 3 or 4 years. So at least for the deputies side of things, which is where the lion's share of the cost is, it's a 3-year contract. So we will no longer be doing anything. We won't have to open a contract negotiation for anything to do for paying benefits for deputies for the next 3 years. We will have to do an opening for dispatchers and jailers for their wages. And the reason we don't have to do it for deputies is because they negotiated to have their salary be connected to the sheriff as a percentage basis. So basically anybody who has been with the sheriff's office longer than 10 years, their wages will be 81% of my salary, or the sheriff's salary, whoever the next sheriff is. Anybody that's been with us between 5 and 10 years will be 78%, and then 1 to 5 years, 76%. So it'll kind of be a staggered in approach, I guess, kind of rewarding longevity. We do have, I think, 4 of our current deputies who have been here 10 plus years, so they will be bumped up to 81% of the sheriff's salary, effective July 1. So for some of them, that'll be a pretty good wage increase come July 1. So that was probably the biggest change. There's good things about that, and there's bad things about that on both sides. I think the good thing is it will bring more stability. You know, to the negotiator, to the costs for the cities and the county moving forward, because again, that is where a big chunk of the costs are centered as far as the sheriff's office budget is on the patrol side of things. Other things that changed really for jailers and dispatchers who work on Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day instead of time and a half, they'll start getting double pay on those days. We did bump up the shift differential from 75 cents an hour to $1 an hour for anybody who works between the hours of 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. And then there was an increase of 20 cents per hour for jailers and dispatchers based on years of service. So from 0 to 5, 5 to 10, and 10 to 15. So it goes up 20 cents each year, or each 5 years for them. I think that's really honestly about it. A lot of the other stuff was just boilerplate language, things like that. Deputies, if we hire somebody who comes from another agency, they'll receive seniority based on their years of service with that agency, so they don't start over just as, year one with us, which makes sense, and that will allow us, I think, to recruit maybe a little bit better, maybe a little bit more aggressively in the future if we're able to do that. So that was honestly the biggest thing over the last couple months that we've been, putting together was that. I do think that moving forward, looking ahead, looking into the future, the communication center is certainly something that I hear consistently from the cities in terms of costs, and so that is something that I've already started having discussions with the Board of Supervisors about, if there's a way we can kind of structure that maybe a little bit differently, something similar to what we've done on the patrol side of things, which certainly has decreased the costs for the cities over the last couple of years. So I think it's a good time to have those discussions, because we are going to have to start having a discussion with the cities as far as the statewide interoperability system, the ISIC system that the state built out here several years ago. And I'll tell you what the basis of the problem is. The sheriff's office, we're already on the ISIC system. We went out 4 years ago when that system came online. The Public Safety Commission borrowed the money, $172,000 I think we borrowed, to update our radios so that we could get on that statewide system. The fire departments and EMS people are not. And so, I think here a couple weeks ago we had a fire over by Cushing. I think it was actually the Cushing district, and fire chiefs and fire department personnel are not able to communicate with other agencies if they're on the ISIC system, which I think everybody in Woodbury County is, everybody in Sac County is. Cherokee is moving that direction, and Crawford is as well. They're a little bit ahead of us. So we need to start having that discussion about how we're going to deal with this in the future to make sure that our fire department people and our EMS people are going to be able to get on that statewide system. And it will be a big price tag. It will be a big price tag. So probably the first thing we need to do is probably hire a consultant, and so that's what I've advised the board to do, is to start looking at hiring a consultant to come in who can put together a report for us, tell us exactly what we're going to need as far as infrastructure, and then give us an idea of what that cost will be. So, but I think it's a good time to have the communication center cost discussions at the same time we're discussing, this big project. So, so that'll be something over the next couple of years, I think, that we're discussing, and of course the mayor is at our public safety meetings, and she'll be able to keep you updated on where that discussion is going.
Those counties that you mentioned are on it?
Mm-hmm.
They're already.
Yeah. Almost every law enforcement agency in the state is on it, of course, but, there are some counties who, bit the bullet, and just paid for it to get it done, to get all their fire department people and their EMS people on the statewide system.
I know, I had a visit with Billy about it.
Yeah.
He was very concerned.
We directed him your direction.
Yes, thank you.
So that would allow everybody in the fire trucks to talk to law enforcement.
Right.
Whether they're
Right.
And other fire.
And
departments,
other agencies.
down in
that are-
Des Moines
Yeah.
or wherever,
Yes.
and right now they don't have that.
Right, so the problem you have is like, if, say, every agency in Woodbury County is already on it, your fire chief can't talk to them. So the biggest
Or to
problem,
Ida County.
well, they can talk to us, they can talk to Ida County, because we can do a patch so that they can talk to us, but they can't communicate with each other. So when you have these cross-jurisdictional issues, basically you can't set up an incident command structure the way you should, because of those fire agencies, because if you're at a fire scene, the fire chiefs are in charge of that scene, law enforcement is not, fire chiefs are. And so you want them to have that ability to be able to communicate,
To
all the entities at once,
Yeah.
instead of having to have it relayed, because that just takes time, and obviously, in an emergency, time is time is of the essence,
Sure.
so.
So is that just as simple as a radio in the truck, or is it a radio every fireman carries?
Yeah, that's a good question. So certainly it's a radio in every truck, and then also probably at least, if nothing else, your chief, your assistant chief, and those people, your command people, would probably have to have the portable radio as well. Yeah. So, yeah,
He kind of threw a price out, and it was,
it's big. I mean, you're probably looking, I mean, overall, right now, $1.5 million,
yeah, that's what he
Probably.
said.
you know,
$1.5
each year.
million?
You know,
Mhm.
for every department in the county. You know,
Oh, okay.
I'm talking every department in the
Yeah.
county.
Not just
Not just Holstein.
Holstein
no.
Fire
No,
Department?
No, we're talking, no,
Wow.
no,
Choke, choke.
no.
Yeah.
You know, and that also, there's some other things going on as far as, you know, locations of towers and things of that nature. You know, and so we're kind of, you know, I know the state is looking at some additional towers to make the system even better. And, you know, if we could get one in Ida County, that would certainly be good. So we're certainly working that angle as well, which would help.
Is that
defray
a yearly
cost.
fee then too?
No.
Once you buy the system, you're in?
Once you're on the system, you're on. Yeah, there's no, and that was how the state sold the system when they built it. They came in, they took money from local PSAPs, from local communication centers, and said, hey, you know, we're gonna build this great statewide system where we can talk across the state, and we can do all these wonderful things, which is good. But they took the money from local PSAPs to do it, and they said, and since we're doing that, there won't be any cost for you guys to be on the system, other than the fact you gotta buy the radios that, you know, can connect, yeah, that are expensive. And so just for the sheriff's office, when we did it, I know it was $172,000. And we're thinking year 5 of that repayment. Avail Bank, actually, Bob Butcher was one that got the bid. We went out to local banks and they had the best offer, best, you know, interest rate. So, and actually, we've had a good budget year this year so far, so if there's only 2 years left to pay on that, I might look at having the Public Safety Commission just pay it off this year. So we might have the money to do that, which would be good. But yeah, no, it'd be collectively for the county, and we're talking other things too, not just radios and stuff. We're talking maybe some other infrastructure that might have to be purchased, so, but it wouldn't be $1.5 million just for Holstein. But that's a good question. Yeah,
Thank you for clearing that up.
yeah. So,
Anything else for Wade?
any other questions other than that? Honestly, you know, we wrapped up the calendar year, obviously. Really consistent year for us, you know, nothing, you know, major. We had a couple major cases that we had some assistance from the DCI on. Those cases, I'm glad to say, they all were, you know, technically solved. I mean, we made arrests. One of them is awaiting trial. That was a case out of Ida Grove. But other than that, a lot of things that we see, you know, on a daily basis, you know, your drug cases, your OWI cases, your operating while impaired cases, domestic, you know, just normal run-of-the-mill stuff for us, really, honestly, that we saw. Our property crime stuff remains really low, so burglaries and thefts. You know, I just was talking last night to Farm Bureau down in Ida Grove. I was invited to talk to them about some of those things. And I've been here 29 years now, and I said, you know, when I started here 29 years ago, you know, the burglary rates and theft rates and stuff were just, they were pretty high. And now they are really, you know, negligible. And I really think a large part of that is because most every business and most homes now have cameras and security systems, you know, Ring cameras and things like that. And so it really just took those cases down to really small numbers for us.
Yeah, because for like $100 you can get out your whole house.
Yeah.
Do you have a full roster?
We do, so we're happy about that. I've got one at the academy right now. He's in week 11 of 16, doing well. So we're excited for him to get back here in a few weeks to get him going again. But we do have a full roster. We really haven't had much turnover. You know, we lost one deputy in the last 3 years that went to another agency, and we haven't lost any dispatchers, I think, in the last 4 years, really, 3 or 4 years.
That's great.
So, and a large part of that reason, honestly, I think, is because the collective bargaining process has definitely driven us to become more competitive in the terms of salaries and benefits and things like that. And we are doing very well in that area right now. We're doing very well. So you have to, otherwise you just, you know, you're spinning your wheels replacing people. So and I really appreciate the Public Safety Commission and the Board of Supervisors for making that commitment, because it has definitely helped and it's definitely appreciated. So.
That amount for our portion of countywide, just for like Steve and Michael, we're down from what we were in the past.
You're down
right?
from where
Yeah,
you were
because I know
you're down from where you were 2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, you were down, I don't know how much it was, but yeah, you're down from where you were, yeah. When we redid how we did so basically, the city of Holstein is paying for, it's broken out. I mean, we have a full slate. When we're at full staff, we have 10 deputies, and so the city of Holstein is paying for 1.8 positions. The county pays for 5. Ida Grove, I think, pays for 2.4. Battle Creek pays for like a half a position. So we broke it out based on that. So then we have to figure out each year, what is the cost to put a deputy sheriff in the car for an entire year. So we look at salaries, benefits, fuel, training, uniforms, all those things. And that's how I come to the factor, or that's how we get that number as far as the dollar amount is, and that's how we make that factor for you at 1.8 positions. So yeah, you're down dollar-wise from where you were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Yeah.
And down because
the county basically took more of the cost.
Took on more.
The county took on more of the cost, I think the board, realized that, they wanted to maintain unified law enforcement. The only way to do that was to make it a little bit better in terms of cost for the cities, because the costs, are pretty high, they really are, so.
Anything else for Wade? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you, Wade.
Yeah, appreciate the time, thank you.
The next item on the report is my mayor's report. For the month of February 2nd, we stuffed water bills. The 5th, the personnel committee met. Council meeting on the 10th. On February 18th, pool and parks committee had a meeting with ISG. The 19th was our nuisance meeting, and then the 24th was our last city council meeting. There you go. Okay, Public Works. Nominated.
And I leave this report on the table. Yeah, it looks like this.
Okay.
Yes, besides kind of like the everyday that we do, the top 3 things I wanted to talk about was the emergency siren system repair. Last month, we had a technician come out, check things. It was working at the time when we sent it, like when we had the county send us a signal, but this beginning of the month, it didn't work. So another guy came out and we noticed that one of the wires was barely hanging on, and antenna's bent, and some of the devices in there are 28 years old. So pretty much it needs like a whole overhaul. And I've got some bids for that. We're replacing the whole siren control electronics. We're getting now a new broadband radio receiver, and then also like a battery kill switch, so it's easier to replace batteries. You don't have to worry about accidentally shorting anything. And then that also includes all like the labor and stuff in the quote. So it's going to pretty much be a brand new system, and it's guaranteed to work for future years.
For another 30 years.
That's why I asked.
20.
Yeah. I know nothing's
Nothing lasts.
as long as it used to.
Is the siren on this building?
Yes, it's on the telephone pole.
It's on the telephone pole.
So
Okay,
technically,
that's-
our control box is in the garage, and then the siren's on the telephone pole.
Okay.
So
Alright.
first time the technician came out, well, the way the siren works is there's a motor up there that will make it do like a 360, and if that motor like goes out, it has a safety protocol of cutting everything. So we replaced a little part that tells it to like move, and it did, but this round it went out again, and then we noticed that there's a wire hanging, and then the antenna's bent due to wind or something. So they're gonna come in and just overhaul the whole system and make it like up to snuff.
I know,
And then
you know,
some.
sometimes Holstein's gotten bigger and people sometimes said they couldn't really hear it very well.
Like on Benning.
Yeah, and I don't know, will it be?
It should be, I mean, it's, so
Well,
everything's
well,
getting,
downtown out, but-
so everything's getting revamped, so it should be clearer, louder, and the way it's gonna rotate, it should be able to, because it could, before, and I don't know how long the motor wasn't, doing its correct rotation,
So it
maybe.
wasn't rotating.
Yeah, so maybe it was only pointing that way,
That might be
while
the
Benny,
difference.
It was pointing my way, because I heard it here at my house.
So that might have something to play with it too,
Right. Okay.
but.
As well as-
No.
I can hear it in the office, that's for sure.
We hear it in our office.
Yeah. I was like, if you can't hear it, then we got something.
We heard it go doink.
Yeah. And that's just according to the technician, that's one of the more telltale signs that the internals are getting weaker because they can't support it to keep it rolling. It got the first like hit, and then it just couldn't keep it up. The second is the water meter radio system update. So I've been working with Census, our representative, he's left. So I was kind of in the dark for the last like month and some change on our Census water meter system. So I was trying to contact Census itself and talk to like technicians, because our like person that you usually call, he quit. Now I got that figured out, and I've been working on pretty much understanding like all the repairs and diagnosis, and I came to find out that the system that we got is no longer supported. They're phasing that out also.
Of course.
Yeah, so in due time, we will have to work on replacing a lot of the water radio, so it connects when we're doing reads, and I'm currently working on that to kind of figure out how much we need to replace and everything that goes that way. So thankfully though, I got a person now, like I got name to face instead of just calling a helpline and trying
And
to,
waiting,
and getting a
yeah.
new person every time, because when you save their number, it doesn't go back to their personal, it goes back to the helpline.
Yeah.
And he's a sales rep for him?
So there's two people. I got a sales rep now, and then I got an actual technician. So I got a dude for the
So you
parts.
gotta deal with both of them.
Yeah, so for anything that's like a warranty, or that goes to the parts guy, and then anything for like a diagnosis of, hey, I can't get your meter to read. I check the wiring, I check the meter, but I still can't get the radio to connect. What do I do, or something like that? That's who I get a hold of. So. And then,
Phasing out.
so.
Part of it?
So yeah, so there's 3 radios right now in circulation of this town, and there's called an R2, a TC, and a 3W. An R2 is what's getting phased out, and that was from like 2010, 2012 is when they were kind of like getting around installed, and around 20 is when they started using the TCs and the 3Ws, and those are short terms for like the way they interact with the meter. And the software that they had to speak to the R2s is getting out clumsy, so they are updating now to the TCs and 3Ws, but our handheld device, they don't make them anymore because they're too expensive, so now it's a tablet and an app that you gotta have. And with that tablet and app, you're allowed to talk to the new radios, but they can't get it to talk to the old ones. So, and they don't sell the old ones anymore, and they don't sell the handheld reader to read them anymore. So once when ours dies, we're hurt.
We're walking around reading meters.
I was gonna go to school.
Yes.
We're gonna be looking for
We got the
volunteers
little-
for that.
Yes. So that's,
The retired guys.
well, that's
That puts
the,
you in.
I know.
well, so that was the biggest thing, because I don't have a clear estimate of how many old school radios we got, but they're out there. So from the spot checks I've done, there's quite a bit. So I'm trying to get a count and then go from there.
Yeah, that's been tough.
You gotta
That's
have-
what happens
You have to
with
have
this
it.
stuff.
Everything gets
They can't
updated.
support
Everything,
anymore.
and then the
Yeah.
software.
Kind of stuff.
Think of all the stuff you've used in the last 10 years and how much of it is still around, really.
I
I mean,
know.
yeah, I don't know. I can't name a thing that I got.
Still out.
Maybe a
yeah.
bike, but I haven't ridden that in 10 years, so. Yeah, especially glasses, they get
Yes.
scratched too easily. But, next thing is, at our water plant, I was getting an error code for our transfer pump. And it got, the pump itself got, bounded, and I called a technician in, he was able to get it unbinded and cleaned out, and he's coming back to do a deeper cleaning, and I noticed the last time it was cleaned was 2018. So I'm trying to get a schedule going where we can get it maybe on like a yearly, because what that pump does, it takes water from well 1, which is real deep in the ground, and it has a higher iron content. So it's all that like iron content is kind of causing a crust, causing it to bind. So we just need to get on a better cleaning habit of that. So
And those, well, one, is that out in the Maple River? Or
that is right here, right here in town. Then 3, 4, 7, and 8 are the ones on 20.
Okay.
And those are not as deep. So yeah, that is kind of the other thing that I just wanted to kind of bring up, that I'm trying to establish like a regular cleaning service schedule to keep that going. So,
Sounds like you're busy.
18, that's 7, 8 years.
I graduated in 17, so it's been a while.
It's not surprising you never had any problems with it since then.
Yes, and I think there was a replacement a little later too, like maybe 19 or 20, but still, there needs to be probably at least a better cleaning regimen to try to,
Who's the person coming out doing that for you?
Sergeant Drilling out of Carroll. He does everything for our wells and, like, I call him and he's up here within an hour.
I know Sergeant Joe.
Good.
They're good people.
Yep.
Very good.
To the siren thing, did you get an estimate on what they thought maybe it was gonna cost, or
Yes.
somewhere ballpark?
I sent it to you.
$10,000.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll be 10,000.
I figured.
yeah, it's like a whole,
Yeah.
reboot, so.
At one time, you discussed that there was like a program, like a texting program. Whatever happens to
emergency.
that, yeah, like
It-
emergency
It's
texting?
in our Tyler systems,
Okay,
but we don't onboard the utility part of that Tyler system until June.
well, I was talking more about
Oh,
tornado,
you're talking
so
about,
like
like, the
if they're
rave
saying
system.
they can't
Rave, yes,
hear
there you go.
over
Yeah.
a venting, is there
Yeah.
a way they can text that at least
Oh.
you
Yeah. You,
send out an
um,
alert
the
that, hey,
Rave system,
yeah, I mean, is that still a thing?
It's still a thing, and you sign up personally for that, we just
Okay.
need to make it more public to
Yep,
people. I
sure.
suppose.
Okay.
Should we put something on the website or Facebook though about the siren that, maybe.
That it's down and,
I did
It's
call
what it is
Billy
about.
to let him know
Yeah,
that if there was an
because-
emergency, the siren is
Potentially,
out of commission.
I just know one time the fire trucks went around running their sirens, and I don't know why that was, but, it was what.
It was down a few years ago.
Yeah,
it was.
and maybe that's what it was, but, I don't know, I just think.
What's their schedule for fixing that?
I think they're about
Or have you sent them a PO?
6 to 8 weeks out.
Oh,
I think.
You know, send,
We just signed the estimate.
signed it, you signed it already, so
Yep,
there's 6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks, yeah, so I think, right in kind of.
Just to alert people that, yeah,
Yeah,
it's in the
what
process.
the
Yeah, so
situation
I-
is.
He said you'll get here as ASAP, which I know is, I can mean anything, but,
We're probably not the only city that's had these
yeah.
problems.
And we gotta wait for the parts to get shipped too, because
Sure.
they don't keep everything on hand.
and it's still customary the first Monday of the month that you run the
Yep,
siren or
and
text
I
it.
make sure to keep in contact with the, sheriff's department in Ed Som. And I had them call me before they were doing it, cause I was standing out right here just making sure I wouldn't miss anything.
Uh-huh.
And that's what I was able to get it diagnosed. But yes, I am in contact with them, so,
Okay, good.
Sounded like a sick duck quack.
yeah.
I mean, it was just like a whirl,
Yeah.
and about 3 of them.
Yeah, well, that's me,
There,
that was me pushing
Oh, that was
buttons to
you
see if I could,
pushing it.
yeah.
I was like,
So
what
it worked
is that?
once, I was like, oh
It's like,
crap,
okay.
come on, so I started pushing stuff, and I called him, I was like, hey, can you send me one more? I just gotta make sure I'm not missing something here, and I did it again, I'm like, dang it.
Yeah,
But,
all right.
Very good, wonderful. Anything else that we need to ask you? Okay,
Did you find anything out about, that rock on,
he is getting me some stuff sent over, he is, are you talking
on
about
that line, that liner?
Yeah, he sent me, there's 3 options, he will, I still gotta get the numbers, but,
He hasn't gotten that.
not fully yet. But I can try to rush him on that, but I'm guessing from just a little bit that I looked up, the fabric you were talking about, that geo fabric is, I guess, would be around like 10 to 11K, and then it kind of goes up from there. But, again, that is a rough estimate, I would have to.
He's saying that it's not necessary.
Yeah, he doesn't think with our the type of soil that we have and the size of rock that we're using, it's not gonna mix or sink in and just cause a big mess. He doesn't think it's needed.
Is it wet down there when you're mowing?
It
You driving
so in
through
the
water?
2 years of mowing, it's only been wet. The one time we got 40 inches of rain. That's also because it's not sloped well. there's no, because he's gonna come in and also add,
Grade it.
grade it and slope it, because right now you got big dips, and it pulls in the dips, which, I mean, that's because the water can't run off. But, so, he thinks after grading it, and then with the rock that we're using and the size of it, that he doesn't think it'll be a big,
A big problem.
yeah.
Okay, well, that's why we're paying him.
Yeah.
But once I get the final numbers, I can make sure.
I'll just ask real quick before you go, has anybody looked at the grassy space over here as far as leveling?
I've not
Okay.
got a hold, I'm still not 100% sure on what we're all planning to do there,
Okay.
so I don't
It
wanna,
was pretty, we were waiting on an estimate from the engineer to see what the plan would cost.
Were they gonna survey?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, no, they were gonna get a cost of how much it would be. We're still waiting on Tom on that, to get
Okay.
the cost estimate of
Okay.
Of what?
That grassy space there where the Hargrove building was,
Oh.
we just, you know,
Want to reseed it?
well,
Isn't there grass in there now?
there's grass, but it's uneven and there's
Oh, you want to level with it?
Level it
Cosgrove's,
up,
you know,
and
behind
the water
Cosgrove
flow
Building.
doesn't flow the right direction.
Yeah, and there's, you know, the broken up concrete kind of behind Dad's building that's just, you know, we had farmer's market there and then we did have a fall and,
Yeah.
And
it's
that's
very
owned by the city?
very neat.
yeah.
Yes.
Shucks.
So,
Pass that on to somebody else.
so, but we're just getting preliminary ideas of what we're looking at there to,
yeah, once we get kind of the engineers to give me an
Yeah.
idea to tell the contractor, then we kind of
how
get
we
that.
want it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, very good. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Ed.
Thanks, Aiden.
Perfect, well, you guys have a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Josh, community center report. That was also on the table.
So we are right in the
So here you
thick
Thanks.
of the busy season for us. So
Yes.
soccer teams are split up and coaches have gotten emails on their rosters and looking to start practicing. Some teams are wanting to start next week, and the week after. We did have 170 kids, which is up from 155 last year, which was up from 140 the year before, so the soccer continues to grow. We are really close to having enough kids for our own high school team. We actually have 25 junior high kids out, 24 out. So we're kind of debating on, we're gonna do 2 teams. My first year, we didn't even have enough for 1 junior high team. So
Wow.
the numbers there are growing. We seeded that spot over there, just to the east of the Catholic Church behind,
Mark Meyer.
yeah, behind Mark and Rachel's house there.
Rachel's.
Kind of keeping an eye on that, and we just didn't get enough moisture for it to come up. It is coming through, not very thick. I did look today, and there was a couple spots that have thickened up that I was like, ooh, maybe get hopeful, but I don't know if there was something with the cedar. It's really patchy, so I don't know if that was something to do with
When did you?
last
fall?
September, yes. Yep, but as soon as that lease was up, I guess it was probably October. I think the lease was up at the end of September, and then we got all the alfalfa killed out. Got fall rye planted because they said that should be, that'll be your best bet to have anything going for this spring, so we were hopeful. So right now, I'm not comfortable putting them out there. I think it's gonna be any kind of rain, it's gonna be just a muddy mess, and you're gonna tear up anything that's there. So we're kind of scrambling, looking for locations to fit 5 fields. One of them, I think we've got 2 over in Galva, so we're gonna need to come up with 2 small fields and a medium-sized field here.
I think we talked about like our football field at the school or that new practice.
I talked to the
field or-
school about using the practice fields there. Adam wasn't too high on us using the new one, just because that was freshly
Fresh.
seeded and we didn't want to tear it up.
Right,
I went over and checked out the old practice field. It would be serviceable, it's in pretty rough shape. But then the issue there is they have track practice every single day, that's where the throwers throw.
Oh,
So you won't be
sure.
able to start
practices until after 6, and when you've got 4, 8 teams, you know, trying to practice on that side of the field.
What about where you had, by the Catholic Church, where you practiced last year?
That is out now.
That's all now.
Yep,
Okay.
so my plan,
Hudson's house is there, you know, that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
right there, and
So-
then they sold those other.
my plan right now is to get a small field just south of the rec center parking lot. I think there's enough room for a small field there, possibly 2 if I have to squeeze them in. My issue is the intermediate size field, which is a pretty good size field. We're talking with the junior high coaches, the Galva field, football field over there. We think that we can get an adequate space for the high school team and an intermediate field there. So I'm looking for a spot where I can put an intermediate field, which would be 95 by 160. And that's my problem right now. So I'm hoping we can make that one field work for a week and a half or so, then maybe the new area is ready to go. I've also talked to Bowlings about using their
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
space down there again.
The park, there's no room there at the park.
And I wouldn't feel comfortable leaving soccer goals up there for 2 months.
Right.
There's enough vandalism there the way it is. I'm kind of hesitant to have them scattered around the way they are now, but it's just gonna have to be how it is.
When you talk about high school soccer, just out of curiosity, then would that be like high schools
Wouldn't be
sponsoring them, or
affiliated.
it would be more like this
It
type
would
of
be
thing?
Ida Grove Kiwanis.
Okay,
What they do
okay.
is they actually even have an adult team,
Okay.
and then they have, I think this year they're gonna have 4 high school teams.
You wanna play soccer?
And it's Ida Grove, it's all the communities involved, and they'll play each other, they'll actually play the adult team. The high school JV kids will kind of play the middle school all-stars, and then the high school teams actually go and play Pocahontas and Manson. But I think Pocahontas's high school team is no longer there, so they're looking for something there. But
Wow, that's cool.
East Sac, I think they've played in the past, but Gregor didn't mention them this year, so I don't know if there was a falling out there or what. I do know that the school in Ida Grove is getting closer to having a school sanctioned high school team. The problem there is they want to be able to sustain it on their own before they reach out to anybody else. More to come on that.
Yep,
Yeah,
stay
sure.
tuned.
So
Yeah.
so would any of the soccer games be in Holstein,
All
or
the
just
game-
all practice?
Just practices.
Yeah.
All the games are in Ida Grove. The Ida Grove Kiwanis is the one that actually does the league. I just kind of help facilitate our end because there is almost 500 kids total in the program. Yeah. So then on top of that, we've got summer ball registrations for coach pitch through majors, which would be 1st through 8th grade. Those are due on Monday. And then once we kind of start getting those teams squared away, we'll send out the T-ball registrations. On the summer ball, we just found out that our concession stands manager, who's been amazing,
Oh, she has.
just is not going to be able to do it full-time. She still wants to be involved as much as she can be, but she needs some flexibility, so she said, pay somebody else, I will be in there as much as I can to volunteer my time, but we will be looking for somebody that can be there 4 nights a week. So if anybody has any ideas, send them my way.
She did such
That's
a good job.
paid position, do you pay part-time or what?
So Tisha volunteered all of her time my first year. After being there and helping as much and seeing all that's involved in that, we felt that we need to be paying somebody to be there. And so that's what the plan is to do. The only other option would be to basically have some of the other communities in the area. Basically, when you sign up your kids, you sign up for a
Yes.
day to volunteer.
Yeah,
That's
One of-
what Galway used to do
yeah,
years
yeah,
ago.
yeah, we
Yep.
used to do that.
Yeah.
Yep, so, there could be a lot of mess going with that, so it was kinda, and Tisha was, when she was in there all the time, she's like, I want I don't want somebody new every single day. With as much stuff as it's going on in there, you essentially need to have somebody there every day to train the people that are coming in, because there's a lot going on there for the quality of concession stand that is come to be expected now.
Yeah.
quite
People are
honestly.
just coming for supper, they don't even have anybody.
So what-
to
what-
There's been 3 nights a week during baseball
Yeah.
season. We don't have time to, so we stop down there and then head off to Kinnison.
Yeah.
You know?
So what are you paying the concession stand?
I think it was 16 last year.
$16 an hour?
Yep.
Okay.
Even if you get groups to come and do it, you still need somebody that's gonna order all the stuff and
And I
be in charge.
usually do all the ordering in communication with her. We do have a lot of high school, or that's half of my time is making sure I got umps lined up and then making sure that I have enough help in the concession stand,
Mhm.
because 3 people can't do it. You need at least
No.
4.
It's busy.
So if you have a
It takes a
head
lot.
person and 3 helpers is ideal, sometimes 4. Our Valentine's dance in February, we had just over 70 people, kids come, and everybody that I heard had a blast. We tried to do some games and kind of make it a little bit more interactive than it has been in the last few years, instead of just music on and standing in the corners.
Except when it's girls ask boys.
Yeah. So, but that turned out pretty well. The pool,
Sophia.
Something, yes.
our pool manager that we thought were locked in for the next few years is up and moving. So she is continuing her life, I think, down by Missouri Valley. So we've hired Sophia Kelleher as the pool manager for the summer. She's had a lot of experience in there, interviewed really well. We're excited to have her go in there, and kind of the plan is, instead of trying to find one person all the time, we're probably going to the next head guard, kind of eyeball guards that do a really exceptional job, and kind of, are you interested in coming back from your college years? And kind of having maybe a revolving-ish door. Until a better solution comes, that's kind of what we're rolling with there.
Okay.
And Ashley's getting her lifeguard list together so that she can start scheduling classes to get them all certified. So last year, she got certified herself to train guards, so that we can do that all in-house here. We kind of talked when they showed up. Aiden and I went down to Des Moines yesterday, and we picked up a couple new pieces of equipment for the cardio room. We got a recumbent bike and a new stair climber. I guess I shouldn't call them new. They're used, but they're new for this facility. So I actually just sold the elliptical today to make room for some of that. We also have 2 treadmills. We ordered a brand new treadmill and another refurbished. So last year we ordered 2 refurbished. There was times where 3 of our 5 treadmills had out of order signs on them. Not a good look. It was something that they just got neglected. So trying to get into some sort of a cycle with equipment there. And I actually just got a text this afternoon that he will be there tomorrow with those. Water heater for the locker rooms, we did find out that it is the water heater. We will need to get it replaced. So we need to get a hold of REC, and we'll have to get, what was it called? A load management switch installed, because there's not one there. So in order to get one through them and get the rebate there,
No, I don't think you need it.
that's what it says on their website.
Yeah, it's already, you have your own meter, electric meter, that has all the heat pumps and all the furnaces and everything on it. And you don't need it.
So we won't need a load management switch.
No, because you already have it. It's on a separate meter.
Where would that be located? Where?
There's like 3 meters sitting outside by your transformer.
Okay, and that has to deal with that?
That, yes.
Okay. I will let your expertise speak
Call
on that,
me.
because I don't know.
Yeah. We can go down there and
And I'll
look.
give you the guy from the REC who to get a hold of.
Okay.
Rob's his name, I don't have his number here.
Okay, yeah, because I haven't reached out and talked to them specifically. I've just kind of been researching online and talking with Grant.
No, it's already got, you already got the low kilowatt hours with all the HVAC system and all the that's there.
Okay, excellent. Well, then we don't need to worry about that.
You just wanna make a point, that equipment, you went down and got it, but you got it for free.
Yes, that was
So
free.
you wanna, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess I-
Accentuate that,
Okay.
that was all free.
You knew somebody?
It was actually Tammy's sister called up, and the YMCA down in Des Moines is closing. They're gonna tear it down. They're building a brand new rec right next to it. And they had equipment. I even found we got some used softball, baseball helmets, and a few bats. They're not in much better condition than what we had, but I kind of picked through some of the better stuff, quality stuff.
Free is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, free is real.
Yep. So that's why, like,
Garage sale.
when I
Thank
say
you,
they
Tammy,
weren't
sister.
new,
Yeah.
they're new to us. They weren't new, but they were used. But everything functions fine, and we were on them yesterday and today, and so we've got some new equipment there.
Oh, that's great.
Great. Yeah.
Still waiting to hear back from the engineers about the redesign for the locker room. Originally, that estimate came back very high, so we're waiting for a cheaper option, because it would maybe not be so,
Like,
won't have to tear up all the plumbing, kind of leave the original layout and coming up with different designs. With that, originally we had the cement out front, getting the front doors ADA compliant, doing some HVAC work, all in that original quote that was so big.
Right.
So now we're talking about having to probably piece some of that together. So I did have got a quote for the HVAC improvements in the weight room. The problem there is the upstairs room, when they remodeled that, they didn't close off the upstairs, and so the weight room down below and the upstairs, all the heat goes up there. So in the summertime, the weight room is freezing cold, the upstairs has gotten almost 80. We did find out when they came and looked, there was some manual dampeners on there that you could switch off to keep more cold air, but they're all manual and you can't get to them. You would have to literally shimmy out on all the HVAC stuff, which I don't feel comfortable
What else
doing.
do you have to do then, Josh?
we have to get on a lift.
Yeah.
Is it out in the center of the weight room?
You'd have to get on a lift and then go up through, and so you'd have to rent
A
a
lift
scissor,
to get up
to get in there to do that. So what we're talking about doing is getting motorized dampeners and 2 thermostats, so that we can
Control it.
try to control that a little bit more. The other thing we noticed is underneath of that upstairs room, there's 3 vents that are actually being fed from the hallway thermostat and ductwork. So we're gonna get a manual dampener there, so we can shut that off, so it's not pumping extra cold air into the weight room. And just trying to even that out a little bit there. And then Sean came to look at the cement out front. He's working on a quote so that we have at least something for when we're ready to do that, on fixing the cement out there and adding some room for some bike racks. VT stopped in to look at the doors. We regularly have VT guys coming in over the lunch break, and they've noticed some of the doors are taking on some damage over the 30 years that it's been there. And they have said, I think we can put new doors in at no cost, use it as a training for getting some of the floor people to actually be in a place that has VT doors, see the installation process, show some of the wear and tear, and kind of a learning experience for
That was great,
them.
yeah.
That's
So
great.
when I was out yesterday, they actually came and measured some doors, so I think they're actually getting going on that. Yes, and free is good. And I was talking with them as far as, what do we want to do with bathroom doors? If we're going to do a remodel, he said, just get them all and we can save them when it's remodel time. So that's where we're at for that.
Good job.
The last thing is Dale is on vacation for the next couple of weeks, so Nick Zobel is filling in the mornings for him.
Okay.
Very good.
Very nice report. Good
Any
job.
other questions for me?
Keep up the good work.
Yeah.
I tried.
Sometimes it's difficult.
There's lots of times it's difficult.
We had Gavin come in here.
I know, about the
A
sauna.
couple
Yep.
a couple weeks ago, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
at
Yep.
least, right.
And he was concerned that, well, he would like, they'd like to push forward to try to get the saunas going. So, is there any way that his group, and we should bring this up to his group, can they do what the people did kind of at the park
For the pickleball.
for the pickleball? They came up with the money themselves. So you might want to talk to Gavin and those people and say, hey,
Yep, and Gavin was in and talking with me before he came here, and I was the one that actually, we had a conversation, and I kind of basically explained, like, it doesn't make sense to, spend 5, 6, whatever thousand.
it was 800, wasn't it?
It was like 6,000.
6,000.
Yeah.
Just for the.
Just the sauna.
Sauna.
Oh, the sauna, yeah.
To just repair the
Just-
sauna.
yeah.
Right.
No,
So the way it's set up down there right now is, there's an entrance from the men's and the women's
Yeah.
locker room, and in order to be able to go in and use that, those have to stay unlocked. The biggest issue with me on the whole remodel is, I don't like that setup. There's nothing keeping me from going right into the women's
Well,
locker room.
there was people going into the women's, from what I understand, that it wasn't a good thing. So
Yeah, and this,
You have to have
like, in
two.
'97, when it was built with the hot tub there, it kind of
Right.
made a little maybe sense,
Right.
but this day and age, we
no.
can't have
No.
that. So,
So you'll have to have
for-
two saunas.
Right.
well, for one, for what he's asking, it would be $5,000 or $6,000 to replace the sauna as it exists right now, and there's no way to stop that access. And then the remodel, we are actually going to reposition the sauna up front so that it's hallway access. So you would come out of the locker room and go into the sauna, where we would be able to have eyes on it, that kind of stuff. So it doesn't make sense, even if they came up with $10,000 and said, here, this is a donation, get the sauna up and going as soon as you can. I don't know how comfortable the city would feel about leaving it where it is with that access anyway. The next thing is, and I could sure look into it, but, would that be salvageable when the remodel comes? Is that gonna be
Probably.
that same size?
Yeah.
So to me, it's a
Well,
waste
you
of
can
money.
buy portable hot
You-
tubs, but
It's out of the-
Well, and we joked about, there's that director's room upstairs of buying the pop-up saunas and throwing it up there, but, yeah, so for right now, my opinion, and I could be persuaded otherwise if, you had a good strong enough argument, but my opinion
well, I
is it
don't
doesn't
think
make any
even
sense to
that,
replace,
it's not,
to fix right now.
Yeah,
what you got there isn't doable.
right.
Yeah,
People coming in can go into the lemons and they can go
Mhm.
both ways, and it's just not.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't realize it was such a problem, but I guess it was.
Well, and it is way at the back, right?
yeah,
Yeah, so if somebody had trouble with the sauna and never came out,
you wouldn't
you
know.
wouldn't even.
But there's a camera there, isn't there? There's no camera there? I thought there was.
No.
Well, that could be easily added.
Yeah, it could be. But you got some guy who goes in the women's locker room, and by the time you go back and look at the camera, yeah, you can find out who it was, but the damage is already done.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely,
Really.
yeah.
Well, as far as somebody getting hurt, then, still,
Yeah,
someone pass out in the sauna and you don't know it.
yep. And that's,
Damage is done.
when we were first talking, we were talking about, is there some sort of a light that we can have flip on that when the sauna's access and stuff like that.
Right.
So that'll all,
That could easily be done.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that'll all be discussed
Sure.
when we actually get plans for the sauna.
Anything else for Josh? Otherwise, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
In your packet was the taxi report. And also the library report. She had that little 100 stamps party, there's 62, did you go to it, Bonnie?
No, I had a couple granddaughters that did.
Yeah. So anyway, it sounds like it was really a fun time. Administrator report.
It's a long way coming down, and it was me, huh?
Yeah.
There it is.
See?
As low as you can go.
Anyway, so you've got the project update from ISG there. The wastewater project was paused for the winter, and ISG is working up drawings. We don't need to continue. We have a meeting scheduled for the 24th. And the rec center, we're waiting on Tom.
I don't know about that. All right,
The rec center, the park master project and the sanitary sewer, we're waiting on Tom.
What is this park, I've heard you talk about this park.
The park master
What-
plan?
What is this?
So the park committee has created a master plan for the city
The
park.
city park.
So
Of
just.
redoing it or what?
Mhm. So there is a section of putting sidewalk all the way around it, the shelter house growing. What were some of the other aspects of that?
Well, I think we looked at the public bathrooms and maybe needing a little
Yeah,
updating or
with,
whatever. The
those
pickleball.
Jerry and Steve and I are on this parking committee.
Yeah.
We had met with
But-
ISG.
You know, we replaced the wood chips, I feel like every year. Whatever the playground stuff is, it's just those wood chips and stuff. So we thought, let's look and see what like a different surface would run.
Yes,
Yeah.
running sidewalk all the way around the park.
The
Yeah.
wood chips, do we replace those, or did the Lutheran Church, or did
We
they just?
We spread them.
Okay,
The
okay.
city purchases them.
Okay.
And then we worked it out with like a birthday with our church. and
Okay, I was gonna say,
move
so I
around.
remember something
But
about that.
they, you know how it goes, they just get wet and pretty soon
Yeah.
under the swings, it's all dug out and, you know.
Everybody
so-
drags their feet. and-
Yeah, yeah, and then the other thing we looked at was potentially adding on to the shelter house an enclosed shelter house.
Part.
The open part, but then have an enclosed part, like some part.
Like Galva has
Some
done
cities
now.
do, and, you know, just have
Parking.
it.
They rent that out,
And
don't
some-
Galvin
Yes.
rent that out?
Yeah, they
Oh,
have
yes.
graduations
Oh,
and
they have
whatnot, and, you know,
parties.
and there's
It's like
There's a
little-
lot of
has a
activity
little
at
kitchenette there
at
and-
our park, you know, like we have birthdays and family reunions and whatnot in the shelter house. And sometimes the weather just is not good, or the windiness of it all and stuff. So we just thought, let's just see what all of these things would maybe run at some point.
Okay, so
you know.
this
it's
is
kind
not,
of a-
this isn't in the budget or anything?
No,
This is just,
simply-
a-
We're just
This
planning.
this is just a dream
Yeah,
plan.
this is the dream
Okay.
plan, yeah.
Dreams
They even
can
talked
come
about
true.
Yeah,
pour and play around the swing sets and
Yeah.
slides and everything, that
Yeah.
it's kind of a spongy
Yeah.
type material that,
That's softer.
less chance of concussions if
Yeah.
kids fall, or,
yeah.
but it was quite pricey.
Yeah, it's all pricey.
Well, that sidewalk, that has needed to be there for
Yeah,
Yeah.
It does really,
80 years ago.
there's one entrance
Yeah.
there's
to
two,
the park that's zero
That
entrance,
would be
right?
great.
Just from the shelter house.
right, to the shelter house, then there's one over at the tennis court, it's the sidewalk
Oh,
comes
yeah,
up from the
yeah.
street.
Right,
there.
that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Mike, the park committee met with the designers of ISG and kind of narrowed the plan and what they like the concept. Once that's completed, it'll go before you guys just review and look at. And you'll get to see all this.
Right, well, I know how ISG's estimates are sometimes.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but at least we have a plan. Yeah, that's what we're looking at. Okay, let's see. The I&I project and the pavement management for the roads, still we're waiting on that. They're surveying and
That's
bidding
another
and-
thing, okay, since we're talking about roads, we had Dave Scott in here, and we really never talked about that. Do we have any roads gonna be worked this year, or is there any plans for that,
What we have.
or is that what this is?
Yeah, what we have in FY '27 is the plan, and then we have just our regular road maintenance that we're gonna do. I think I've got 25,000 in the budget, just to do road maintenance. And then as the plan is completed, we're gonna start, working through the plan to get the roads completed.
Yeah, what are the bad roads are the first ones to go as we go?
Or, you know, what,
So we can
what
give
are-
Dave Scott, here's what we're gonna do.
yeah, and then, you know, it also, we can eventually, if we have enough bad roads, then we just bond for that section. Or, you know, just kind of a plan for doing road maintenance, rather than just putting the gravel on and just
Right.
patching the holes and,
Yeah, maybe fix one road the
Yes.
right way
yes.
Correct.
every 2
Exactly.
years or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And
Or we do one
you're still gonna have
large-
the patching.
Yeah.
That's never
Or
gonna
we
go
do
away.
one large project and pay it off over 5 years. That might end up being a little
Right.
more economical. Benning Drive, we have a meeting this month with Amanda, finishing up Benning Drive, and it will go out to bid this spring. That was about it. We did update the planning and zoning maps, which I'm waiting for a better copy to put up there, but, so that's what they're working on now. Tom, I think, is currently on vacation, so I'm sure when he gets back, some of these things we're waiting on him will come through.
Those construction meetings for the wastewater treatment, do you go to those too, Tammy?
Yeah,
Or
so it's
it's you
Aiden
and
and I.
Aiden?
Mhm.
Okay, all right. Just wondering.
I invited Kathy.
Have they said anything?
I think the
How soon they're
mayor
gonna
buys
start?
lunch on those meetings.
How soon are they gonna start again this spring? Has anybody said anything?
No.
They should have started.
They should have already
2 months
ago.
There's been,
Yeah. So anyway,
But, what do I?
we're 75% the way through the budget, and you'll see each function. So we run, our budget runs on function. There's public safety, which is at 71%. There's public works, which is at 61%. Health and social services, that's at 54%. And then we go to culture and rec, is at 59%. Community economic development is at 27%. General government is at 64%. Debt service, we're at 6.78%. And then capital projects, we are at 46.9%. And then our enterprise funds, we're at 14.27%. And then our transfers, we're at 57.94%. So each of them, you'll look on the enterprise funds on the very last page. The reason we're so low on that budget is because we have that wastewater project in there, the whole entire amount, and I put the entire amount in FY '27 because I wasn't sure where it was gonna hit. So I wanted to make sure we were covered. So that's why it's just 14%. So we are within budget in every function that we're in. Every department is working hard to stay within their department budget. Been working closely with Aiden on the enterprise funds and the roads funds, and he's learning the budget process, and he's learning how to code his invoices so they hit the right places, and so we're working on
I
that.
like how you say that, coding. Invoices. That's not like hiding, is it?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, it's these codes right here.
It's in blue.
Where to put it, right?
Where to put it?
So anyway, then you've got your treasurer's report, and you'll see every place that we have money as a fund. We have the general fund, the hotel motel, the ARPA, which the ARPA will be finished up with this wastewater project, road use tax, employee benefits, et cetera, as we go down. And then if you flip to your last page, the city currently has $3,848,391 total cash on hand. Okay. Is there any questions about any of the funds or any of the budget? We will finish our budget process next council meeting. We'll be done, and we'll be going over the special revenues, the capital projects, the enterprise funds, and the transfers and the debt funds. That's the next meeting, and then we'll have completed our budget process. So as Aiden was talking about the water meters, we went ahead and threw money into the budget. We went through some of the books today to see where, we have 6 books of meters, just to see how many we had. And I would say we had, in the book that we were in, we had about 10% that were newer meters that were gonna be okay, but we had to replace, we're gonna have to replace a lot of meters. The meters run about $200 a piece, We will get some warranty with the old meters that would be discounted off, so I did put money in there. We're hoping that the meter reader lasts us for a while, and we can take this over a couple year period of replacing. It's really about that meter reader, and if it's got a little wobbly connection, we're kind of wiggle it and, get it going, So there is a little bit of something
There's not
there.
used ones on eBay, is there?
There's not, we did look.
Did you look? Okay.
I'm like, where can we get our bargain?
That's something that is something to look for.
I will have to call my sister.
Right, call your sister and have her hook us up.
Sounds like she's got connections.
Yeah, Iowa Waste Exchange, if you guys need something, you let me know, because there's an entire city building closing in Des Moines, just office furniture, everything.
Wow.
And all they're doing is waste exchanging it. So they don't want it to hit the landfill, so they're offering it to all nonprofits. That's why they went down to Des Moines to get that. So,
Nice.
very
You
good.
know, it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. So any questions on the treasurer or the budget report?
I think so. Okay. We're going to move on to citizens forum and
You seem like you had a
No,
question.
I'll just,
You're having a thought.
uh,
There.
you want to say it now or do you want to say it later?
it's past our time, let's keep going.
Okay.
Keep moving.
Okay, for business, we're going to review and discuss the ambulance billing.
All right, so I have this little presentation up here for you guys. So, and the ambulance billing, there we go, waking up. So when we started this off, when I came in a little over 2 years ago, this was one of the items that was on the list to start working through. So we had no internal oversight, we were just getting the ACHs and they were putting them in the checking account, but there was no reconciling between the individual claims and the ACHs that were coming in. There was no claim follow-up on denials or held or incomplete claims. They weren't getting escalated, and the third-party biller that we have has a collection, but it has not been, no. So anyway, what we did was we changed the deputy clerk to be revenue coordinator for the ambulance. She's also payroll clerk and utility billing, and we hired an accounts payable clerk to do accounts payable licensing in the front desk to free her up. So we took a portion of the deputy clerk's wages out of the ambulance fund for the collection, and now she's monitoring the claims that are submitted, tracking the denials, working with communication with the ambulance coordinator and the billing, overseeing the collection process, and then reporting those revenues to me.
Is that a problem?
It was,
It
yeah.
is?
It was a huge,
It was a
huge
big,
problem.
it was a big problem.
Huh.
So that was the
I would have
decision,
never dreamt that.
trying to connect, we needed to
I think,
capture those
to
revenues.
kind of back up a little bit, I mean,
Mhm.
it is a whole process, which I don't think I even realized with our local ambulance, but,
Yeah.
they have to turn in their run reports, and then you bill to private insurance or Medicare, there's a whole process
So,
to bill correctly.
Yeah, and
They can
that
get
goes
denied.
into a third party
Mhm.
that does all of that billing. But then, when we're getting the payment, like we will get ACHs throughout the month, $300, $500, but there's no tracking the runs, the patients.
How many was there really
Yes.
supposed to be?
Yes,
And
yes.
some of those get denied because of documentation or whatever,
Yeah.
and so we never really,
Well, and then
there was just a disconnect.
Holstein, Nebraska.
Yeah, some,
Yes.
they were paying Holstein,
Holstein,
Nebraska.
Nebraska, and actually Holstein, Nebraska contacted Holstein, Iowa to say, hey, we've been getting your ambulance payments, and it was for some period of time.
Yeah, because
And we didn't realize.
there was
it,
nothing
you know.
internal here that was
Yeah.
doing it.
So it was
Yeah.
quite a
It
bit
was-
of
it was-
lost revenue.
Well, anytime you deal with insurance companies.
Oh, I know, it's
It's-
yeah.
So we started this in September. So when the deputy clerk started really working through the claims, she had found that some claims weren't being worked. So this is a larger system. They would hit the system, and it would be something simple as missing information, and it would just rotate back through the system. rotate back through the system without being corrected or let anybody know they had bad information. And then eventually it gets to the point where they're just written off because there's a timing issue. So we were unaware of any holds that were being made on there, any write-offs. I mean, we get a lump sum report. So that's why we decided that this was important to have that internal control of this revenue. So just as a timing issue, veterans, you have to have it billed out and it has to be approved in 30 days. Medicare is 12 months, Medicaid is 12 months, and then private insurance 90 to 2 years. So once they're gone past that time, you cannot collect after that. Right now, we currently have, what we can tell, is $185,000 in outstanding. $68,000 is highly collectible within that 120 days, and $117,000 is over
Wow.
that 20 days. Now, keep in mind, this is what we currently have on the books. This is not counting of prior years written off. This is just this year.
Does this money go to the Holstein Fire Department?
This money goes into the city,
The
and
city.
the city supports the ambulance.
Okay.
So, yep, and that ambulance is within the general fund. So what we're moving forward, and this is what you guys are deciding on tonight, is we've found another third-party biller. I did call other cities and get references, and they were very happy with the collections and the communication with the PCC. Their fee is actually 10% of my collected. QMC is the current third-party biller we're using, is 15%. So we save a little there. All the account managers are NAC certified, so there's an understanding there. You're not just getting into a pool of people who are not understanding what you're doing. They also are part of this GEMT program, which Medicaid caps at a certain amount. This program here will supplement what Medicaid caps at, so we will receive some revenues from that. And they're just faster claims, 2 to 4 days. As soon as that information is inputted, the ambulance, whoever runs the ambulance, inputs that information, it will go billed in 2 to 4 days. And if there's any information missing, because that's as simple, if you tapped past, they will let us know and we can let them know. The ambulance, the fire department has offered $10 bonuses to every EMT who completes their report within 24 hours of a run. So that's kind of their incentive to continue this growing. And then this will also, we're participating in the income offset program, which we already participate for utility billing, but this isn't added. If their patient owed, we can go into income offset, and then that gets taken off of their income tax if they get a refund.
Oh.
And we collect that money before they get their refund. That's what we do for utility billing too, to recoup some of the money on utility billing. So anyway, moving forward, we're gonna do our best to recover that $185,000 and then just kind of pursue, it's gonna be a process to get income offset. We already have it for utility billing, but we have to start the whole process over for ambulance billing. So it will be a little bit to get that going. And then, then the deputy clerk's role will just be kind of, instead of chasing and trying to figure out what they're doing, just keeping up with the system, making sure we're connecting those revenues. And we've set up a monthly report that you guys will receive, that you'll see whatever we bring in, and part of the collections and onboarding. So this month I did that for every department that maybe you guys don't see every month, that you'll know exactly what's going on in every department, and allow you to have some questions, and at least you're more aware of what's going on. And that's it. So any questions?
So-
Seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Well,
Is there any, offset to doing this new provider?
Is there any way?
So any,
Pass the bill along, you mean, the 10%?
the numbers look great, but I just didn't know if we were trading off something, like
No.
maybe some other service that what we have now.
No, we do have, there's the credentialing. But we currently pay QMC to do credentialing with us too. So depending on Medicare, Medicaid, depending, you have to credential every 2 years or every 4 years. And there is a fee for credentialing, but that is, we also pay QMC for that.
But can you pass that 10% on to the insurance companies?
I don't,
Like, You
know.
said they're gonna take 10% of a
Oh,
hundred.
you mean what was
180.
paid
What
them?
we're paying them.
Yeah,
So if we were paying them, that'd be $18,000.
Well,
Can we
part of-
pass that on to our ambulance bills?
Well, part of this whole process would be you guys setting your fee schedule. And
Okay.
we've been running on an old fee schedule that we even struggled finding. It's been that long since it's been revised. So you guys will set that fee schedule. We're limited with like Medicare. They limit what you can,
Right.
but
Get anyway, but.
on the other ones you can. Like Wellmark will have a contract for X
Yeah, I
amount.
know there's some
Yeah,
that you're
but-
locked in
But
on
you
pricing,
can, as you guys set your fee schedule, you can consider that.
I mean, it looks like they make recommendations on your fee schedules too,
Mhm.
you know, so I just thought this sounded excellent.
well, this is what the world's come to.
Yeah.
It's such a paper trail, you can't do it yourself.
Yeah.
And we
Well,
can't.
and if
And
this new
especially
company,
with
we've had
medical
good
stuff.
Yeah,
reports
it's-
from
You know,
other.
They make it so
coding
quick.
and all that
Yeah.
has to be just right, and
Yeah.
they can't
And
find
if
it
it's
in the
wrong, then you
documentation, they
gotta
deny it. you
Refill
know,
it
and-
out, and
yeah.
then it gets tossed out, and then that
Right.
30 days is up, and you're.
but I think it's great that you've got Julie here to go back and make sure that this is happening.
Yeah.
It was needed, you know, because we got volunteers, they do a great job, but, you know, to be
They're
chasing
volunteer.
all this stuff, you
Yeah.
know, they don't have the time to be.
They have a
And the
good job.
insurance
doing all
companies,
that,
unfortunately, they know that.
Right, yeah.
That's why they do it.
probably true.
Sure,
Yeah, that's probably true.
That's why
I
they make
think-
it so hard.
I
exactly.
think
So
it
they
was
will take-
it was a good move, to make that part of her and then just bring in Mary to do that AP portion of her job and we're offsetting what we're, portion of Julie's wages just to do that with the increased revenue, so.
I think, it is important that they get their run reports done quickly.
And they
too,
have been
timely.
really-
So I think that was good that was.
Yeah, and
you
they
know, being
really
worked on.
have, there was very few that were held for information. It was more of a billing issue,
Yeah,
Okay.
so.
yeah.
They've done really well, and Shelby and Julie have been working closely together, and
That's great.
Okay, so now we're going to go to resolution 26-09, authorizing the mayor to execute a notice of termination of ambulance billing services agreement with Quick Med Claims LLC. And you have this in
I
front
will
of you.
make that motion.
Okay, Barney.
And I'll second it.
Yep.
Okay, and that would be Steve. And this is a roll call vote, so Steve,
Aye.
Terry,
Yes.
Mike,
Aye.
Marcus,
Yes.
Bonnie.
Yes.
Okay.
Was there like an exit fee to do this?
There's not, we just have to have that 60 days. We will have those claims that are sitting out. QMC will get a portion of that and PCC,
Sure.
but any portion we can get, I think we're money ahead.
Sure.
What, you said that is 189,000. And
185,
on how
yeah.
long has that been out? 120 days?
It's been 120 days. Anything beyond that,
Is
that's already.
already wiped out?
Yeah. So since 2013, I can't tell you
What that
what we
is.
lost.
It's
Who
probably
even knows where I was? If we don't want it
hundreds
now,
of thousands.
that's a long time ago.
I'd wager Holstein.
Probably. Okay, the next item is resolution 26-10, authorizing the mayor or city administrator to execute an ambulance billing services agreement with Physicians Claims Company Incorporated.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Terry.
second it.
Okay. Bonnie. And roll call, Bonnie,
Yes.
Marcus,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Terry.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I appreciate your work on all that.
Yes,
I
my
think we
goodness.
knew we needed,
That was,
we
and
needed
your
that, and so very good.
presentation
Thank you.
was very clear.
That's great.
Okay, item chapter 122, peddlers, solicitors, and transient merchants, the food truck.
Okay, so we went back and did a little research, and I gave you that packet. The first is just how many permits have been issued since 2020 is when it started. up to 2025. And then you have just other towns and what they're doing as food trucks. And then you have, I emailed the attorney just asking specific questions like what is our exposure? What is the difference between public and private? And then you just have his answers there on the back. And then we've just included a food truck ordinance specifically to food trucks in there as an example of what another town is doing. So you guys you have all the information you need, I believe.
So just judging by what the attorney said, are we getting rid of a bunch of the ordinance since we kind of address it as a transient merchant? Because it seems like he
Yeah.
kind of says.
Is
like-
if it's running under transient merchant, that it really food trucks don't fall under, that's what I understood.
That's the way I read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like yeah.
So, I mean, if you just, and
So we're
he
just gonna
recommends that
throw
for
out
the,
ideas, what we want it to look like then going forward, or?
you want the ordinance to look like going forward? The-
Yeah, is that like
Yeah.
what we're doing?
Yeah,
That's the question,
yeah,
yeah.
this is the question that you guys have to answer is, how do you want to handle this moving forward? Do you want to just, it's transient merchants, so we're not asking them to license, or we're asking private not to license, but public, when we have public on public streets, are we asking for them to license, or are we creating a whole new food truck ordinance that specifically addresses food trucks? Those are the questions that were really.
Well, basically, he told us that private property is private property. So it's like,
Yeah,
we don't really have to require anything,
right,
but should we? I don't know.
that,
Well,
yeah.
and then the state requires it.
Right.
Why are we stepping on the states, they already require it. Why are we making more of an issue for Tammy and her crew to go after this? And if you look at $20 times $28,
28 times.
28 times in 5 years,
Mhm,
is it worth the hassle?
mhm.
I mean, you already wasted probably a half a day or probably a day researching all this of your time, which ain't cheap. So, well, I mean, my time's not cheap.
Yeah, no, you're right.
None of
It's
us.
all money, yeah.
So, that's my opinion. I think we should just let it go.
Anybody else have an opinion?
I think my thought at first was just from a safety standpoint to make sure that we have, that these trucks coming in are licensed and all those things, which hopefully they are.
Well, they
You
are,
know?
the state requires it.
Well, I know, but they know
Hey,
if
what
somebody
is it?
comes driving into Holstein that.
The
they're-
state also
they're
requires that
licensed,
our restaurants in town have.
I know, but I'm
Doesn't
just
it-
saying, that was my first thought, was just to be sure that they were doing what they were supposed to be doing, but.
I would imagine you have to display it
I bet.
Right,
yeah,
right.
somewhere.
I guess if there was a question.
Some licensing.
Well, and I had
Isn't there a
Tammy,
county health inspector or food inspector? Isn't there a county one? There used to be. It used to be Cheryl
Cheryl
Andrews.
Andrews.
I think they're,
They do,
They're-
I think it's through BV County
Yeah, I think it's
now,
through
and
BV.
they do like our concession stand and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
and you might see them once every 3
I didn't know if you
years or
could
so.
call them and say, we got a food truck, can you come and check it out? Or, I don't know how that works.
well, I just had Tammy email John, like I said, all right, so say we had a situation with a food truck and a lot of people got sick, it happens and stuff, and you got a bunch
Well,
of
that's
people
gonna
sick.
happen in any business.
I'm just
Even
asking
down,
the question.
even down,
Yeah,
at-
no,
even
I'm
down
just
at the,
saying, who's
even
liable?
down there at the, now, do we have a licensed person running the concession stand?
No, but I was just saying, like, whether it's a restaurant or whatever it is, if you have food poisoning or whatever, for whatever reason that it happens, but is there any liability for us on that at all? And it doesn't sound like it's like
No
zero.
liability for us.
So I'm kind of leaning towards
I think it would just make
life
everybody's life
easier.
easier.
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
think it's something that we it's not our responsibility.
Right.
We have other fishes to fry
Yeah,
than this.
yeah.
What do you think, Bonnie, or do you?
Yep.
Marcus?
Yeah, no,
So,
I'm all about easy.
Free and
Free and
easy.
Free and
so,
You really don't have to do
I don't have
any,
to-
you really don't have to do anything because we don't have a food truck. It wouldn't classify under transient merchant. Just moving forward, we won't
Won't pursue this.
pursue it, yeah.
Okay, so we just cross this off.
And we
Okay,
will.
So Barry will
something-
send out something
Yep.
to everybody?
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
very good.
Very good. Okay. Anything else tonight? Otherwise, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
I move.
I'll second.
Oh,
You took Marcus's.
Marcus.
I know it.
He's gonna cry.
I'll let it
Okay.
maybe I'll get it next time, we'll see.